Stories like this are the reason why Yahoo boys need to be stopped. Some of the damage they do goes beyond ripping people of their money. And this story goes back to August of 2023 when a man in America by the name of Stephen Riley got an email informing him that a distant relative of his had just died and that he was next in line to inherit $30 million. All he needs to do is meet up with a lawyer at the airport, sign some documents, and the money is his. The moment Riley saw this email, he was excited. He did not think twice. You need to understand that Riley was just a man in his 50s from a low-income background, and this was a big deal to him. Who doesn't want to inherit $30 million? At this time, Riley had a partner, Ina Kanoya, a lady in her 40s, and when he got this email, he shared it with her. She too was excited, saying, "Baby, we are rich." But here's the problem. Before even seeing the money, Stephen Riley had already begun making plans on how he was going to spend it, or pretty much what he was going to do when he gets the money. And one of the things he was going to do was to break up with his partner, Ina Kanoya. Stephen told neighbors about his plans, and somehow, someway, Ina Kanoya heard of Stephen's plans to break up with her as soon as the money arrives, and so she too thought of a more dangerous plan, one that will not end well for both of them. Before we continue, go to your app store, download Carding app, sign up with our invitation code CRIME, and get urgent 3K for free. You can also trade your gift cards with the app. So when Ina heard the gossip going around that her boyfriend Stephen Riley planned to break up with her, she decided to wait for the perfect time. Riley was supposed to go on the 3rd of September 2023 to the airport to meet up with the said lawyer who was supposed to give him all the documents to sign, but on that day she gave him a drink, some kind of tea, as he prepares to leave. But unfortunately, after taking the drink, he started feeling unwell, and his sudden sickness became worse that they had to rush him to the hospital. Eventually, she had to bring him back home so that the hospital don't treat him from what she had done to him, because clearly she had poisoned this man and wanted the poison to take effect. If he goes to the hospital, they will treat him and he will get better and go and get the money and break up with her. So she brought him home and continued poisoning him slowly, and that is how he did not go on that day to the airport to get the money. The next day, on the 4th, his condition worsened, and by the 5th, Stephen Riley was dead. Ina Kanoya successfully got rid of her boyfriend and somehow was hoping to get the money. Unfortunately for her, a particular neighbor was so keen on suspecting her of being the one behind the man's death, and he did not waste time to tell the police that there was a 30 million naira inheritance that they were going to receive, and he believes that that was the motive that Ina Kanoya used to kill the man. Eventually, an autopsy would be done to show that Stephen Riley was poisoned, and to establish the motive, they needed to be sure of a $30 million inheritance. And that was when the police investigated the email and broke the news to Ina Kanoya that the $30 million inheritance does not exist, that the email they got was from a scammer, a Nigerian prince, somebody who had plans to scam them of something. There was no $30 million inheritance. But unfortunately, Stephen was already dead and she was already in jail, facing trial for murder. Omo, see what a fraudster just did to destroy 2 lives at once, to destroy an entire family. I mean, it would have been a lot easier if they were able to successfully scam him, which I believe that when he gets to the airport, what they wanted to do was to ask him to basically, give him some documents to sign and then tell him to pay a certain amount of money for this. That's how he will start paying for certain things and certain legal fees and certain stuffs, thinking that those money are small compared to how much he's about to inherit. And I think that was the way they were going to scam him. But unfortunately, his girlfriend scammed him. But what is ironic is that Ina was not even married to Stephen Riley. So even if the money existed, she was not going to get it still. Unfortunately for her, she was never in line to inherit any of his property because the states that they lived in did not recognize domestic partnership unless they were married.